better solve this issue. And as Diko said, we understand the kinetic approach has not anywhere in the world produced result. So there's need for a non-kinetic approach deliberately, you know, to be able to achieve a relative peace within the state. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Governor Bago. Can I now call on the Governor of Plateau State, Caleb Motwang?
Thank you, Ambassador Carson. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's always an honor to be here. I was privileged to be here last year. And for me, I think I hit the nail on the head. What is happening in Nigeria is a failure of governance, particularly at the national level. I would say the experience, particularly in the last 8 years of the previous administration, was a situation where we saw the central government either abdicating responsibility or in some cases in concert with the perpetrators of these criminal acts. And so it gave such a leeway to these criminals to build capacity that today it has become a great monster, a big elephant in the room, that it will take concerted efforts, sincere efforts, to be able to get this elephant out of the room. What has happened is that typical of a federal system, due to negligence or complicity, the fault lines within the nation began to expand. And what we have inherited, even for me particularly on the plateau, I inherited a state bedeviled with deep-rooted suspicion. And therefore, you found in some instances, you can come to the conclusion that there was some bit of elite conspiracy to be able to perpetuate this criminality as a way of seeking advantage in a competitive polity. What is the opportunity for us? The opportunity for us is to redefine governance, make people to rebuild confidence and trust in government. And it's a shame I had wanted to be on this trip with two respected religious leaders from my state, a Christian leader, the president of ECOWAS, and one of the key Islamic leaders, but unfortunately he couldn't get a visa, to demonstrate that we need to build bridges. We need to have an elite consensus that enough is enough, and we need to turn around this situation. I think that my little observation in the last 11 months I've been in government, that the needs of the ordinary people are similar. They want access to good roads. They want access to good education. They want access to good health care. They want to go to their farms and come back home in peace. But as long as this insecurity persists, we cannot obtain anything near that. Last year, before I took over as governor, mayhem was unleashed on my local government where I come from to suggest that there was a political motive. Often than not, intelligence has shown that the people who perpetrate these attacks are not within the communities where those attacks took place. They were brought in from somewhere, by whom, and for what reason. In December last year, on Christmas Day particularly, the GOC told me the army was dealing with attacks simultaneously in 36 different points. This could not have been farmers' herders clash. It's something bigger. It's something much bigger. And I think time has come when we need to be sincere and honest about this discussion. What I think has been lacking over the years is the sincerity to mobilize the political will to deal with this ugly situation. And if this kind of forum can motivate us to mobilize that political will, I don't think the factors are unknown. The factors are pretty much clear. We need to muster the political will. And I think that is where the United States government, the United States Institute of Peace, can be able to exert its moral pressure to bring to bear on the political leadership that it is time to rise to the occasion and checkmate this ugly situation. It is not only in the interest of Nigerians, I believe it is in the interest of Africa, and it is also in the interest of the United States of America that its strategic partnership with Nigeria is brought to the fore. The United States cannot take a backseat in giving importance to Nigeria. And I think if this role is well played, perhaps we will see light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you.
Governor, thank you for those remarks. I'm going to ask the Governor of Kebbi State to round out our discussion of here with the first governors. Governor Idris.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me use this opportunity to appreciate you and appreciate this organization that we travel all the way from Nigeria to come to this place. And also to tell you that Kebbi State also is not different between what the other colleagues are saying as far as security situation is concerned. Even though Kebbi State I share border with Zamfara, Sokoto, Kaduna, and Niger State. The level of security situation in Kebbi State is not up to the level my colleagues are facing, because in Kebbi State we don't have a single camp of bandits. But my problem is because they are my neighbors, and by the time the firepower of the security agencies in those places, they will now run to Kebbi State and seek for shelter. And after the exercise has finished, they will move back to their camps in the neighboring state. But I have the belief with our coming to this place, God willing, when we go back we'll go back home with something that will assist us in addressing this issue. All of us has rallied around towns and villages during our electioneering campaign, and we have made so many promises that will build schools, rehabilitate schools, will create jobs, and so on and so forth. But because of the security situation that is in our hand, no meaningful development will take place. So therefore, I feel that with our coming, something is going to be done to us so that when we go back home, we will be able to address this issue of security challenge in our various states. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much, all of you, for those initial set of comments about the concerns that you have about security in your states and in your neighboring states. Before I ask the next five governors to come up and talk, let me just ask each of you very quickly to respond to the question of what it is that you might be able to do together as governors to help improve the security not only in your state, but in your neighboring states. What is it that you do collectively that can be positive in addressing the insecurity and also the improvement in people's lives? Governor Rada, I'll let you start, but I'll let you ask to be quick so that we can get to the...
Thank you very much, Mr. Carlson. It's true, but since at the beginning after our inauguration, we since realized that there are so many things that we don't need to do it at individual capacity, but we need to do it collectively. In fact, that was what informed forming our forum of the Northwest governors. And the first week we were elected, and the first week we were inaugurated, we had our own first meet. And we focused on 3 key areas. One of it is addressing the insecurity, which has to be collective. Economic development of the region has to be collective because we have so many comparative and competitive advantage within the states in that subnational. And then we also think that the major thing our people do is agriculture. And we need to improve it so that we can provide enough opportunity for employment, livelihood, and better life. So we came together and we felt we need to address the issue of insecurity. And collectively we are driving this process of addressing the insecurity challenges. And we have done that already. Some of the states in the Northwest have done that already. We have established, as I mentioned earlier, the community protective, community watch, and then we have similar thing in Jigawa. In Jigawa, in Zamfara, we have similar thing in Sokoto. Kebbi is in the pipeline. Kaduna has done that. So I think collective approach to insecurity will help to address the challenge, because if I'm able to push the bandit, they will move to Zamfara State. But if something is being done in Zamfara State, they will also push them back. So we can be able to address and eliminate the issue drastically. And the non-kinetic approach also has to be collective. Because if I'm able to fight poverty in Kazana, if Zamfara is unable to fight poverty, that means those people that are impoverished in Zamfara will move to my state, because there is no any demarcation that stops movement of citizens from one state to another. So it is really good to address the issue holistically and in a regional approach, and then at the national approach entirely, so that we'll have peaceful and prosperous country. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor Rada. Anyone else want to make a comment?
Well, yeah, let me add to what Governor Rada did. The first thing we realize as leaders is there are problems. And what are these problems? In the Northwest, we realize security is a major factor. And it has to be addressed holistically. That's number one. Number two, we also realize the fact that the entire Northwest is an agrarian economy. And what do we do in order to capitalize on comparative as well as competitive advantage? If we're able to address these issues, that will go a long way in solving some of the major challenges. And of course, there's infrastructure deficit, which also has to be addressed. So the good thing is we're all together. Like somebody said, we're all new governors. And we're here for the people. We're here for the change. We need to make an impact. We need to leave legacy. That is the key. And that is why we're here collectively. Thank you.
I see that Governor Idris, you look like you want to make a couple of comments.
Yes.
Okay, please.
Thank you, sir. My comment is on this issue of youth restiveness. like Dr. Lowell have said, that we have agreed collectively because our state are agrarian state to engage youth to go back to farms. Most of us has provided agricultural input. Like in Kebbi State, my government has purchased over 30,000 solar farms and solar farms and petroleum farms, which the government of Kebbi State, in partnership with the federal government, we agreed to reduce to give subsidy on the petrol, so that our farmers and the youth can be able to purchase petrol. And also, the government of Kebbi State has shared all this form, over 30,000, free of charge for our teaming youth, some in a cluster, some as cooperative, some as individual, so that they will go back to farms. And also, government also provide fertilizer. But we can't do it alone. That is why we are here, so that we'll partner together, so that we'll see how best, because by the time we engage youth, all this issue of security will be addressed. So therefore, I think by the time we have some input from you here, like I said, if there is a problem of security, there is not going to have any meaningful development in our various states. All of us are one-time governors, and we need to show leadership by example, and at the same time, to put something on ground so that we win the confidence of our people. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me do this. Let me call this session to a close and invite, if I could, the next round of governors up to talk about their states and the challenges that they face in terms of security and opportunities for dealing with the issues before them. So we're going to take a few questions after this, but I think it's important for all the governors to have an opportunity to present before we get into questions from the audience. So, governors, thank you, and I'm going to ask the next round of governors to come forward. Governors from Jigawa State, the Honorable Malam Umar. Governor of Kano State, Governor USIP. The Governor of Kaduna State, Governor Sani. The Governor of Benue State, Governor Ali. Aliyah, I'm sorry, Governor, please. And the Deputy Governor of Sokoto, Deputy Governor Gobir. Yes. I'm sorry. Okay. Thank you all very much for being with us this morning. I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked your colleagues, and that is to share with us in 2 or 3 minutes the challenges that you face in each of your states and how you as governors are dealing with them on a state basis, and how you're dealing with them in relationship to the central government, the federal government, in working with you. And I'm going to start off with the Governor of Jigawa State, the Honorable Malam Umar.
Thank you very much. Once again, I want to thank the Institute of Peace for this opportunity. I think it's something that is very, very important to us. Well, you see, in Jigawa State, not only in Jigawa State, but particularly let me go up to Jigawa State, the major challenges we consider since we are privileged for the fact that we have less security challenges in Jigawa State. And that, like I said earlier, that does not mean we should not work together with our colleagues to solve the problem of insecurity in the Northwest. So the major challenges we had are two. One is the issue of poverty. And then the other one is youth unemployment. And if you look at these two, they are drivers of insecurity, whether you like it or not. So the issue of poverty is a very, very big challenge because the economic activities are very, very low, and the purchasing power of the people is considerably low. So, and as such, people can be pushed to do anything. Secondly, youth unemployment. By the last estimate, we are almost 7.2 million people in Jigawa State. And by the same estimate, about 35% of those are youth, which is very huge. So, and if you didn't take care of these youth in terms of what they will do, how they will be able to be independent, then it's a very serious challenge that you need to address, whether you like it or not. So what are the opportunities? The opportunities is that, like other people said, we are an agrarian state. About 80% of our people are farmers. And we have a lot of land. We are not as big as Niger State, but I think we have a very vast land, about 22,000 square meters of land. And about 80% of that land is arable land. Also, in addition, about 400,000 hectares of that land is apadama land that you can cultivate year in, year out. So this is a very huge opportunity for us. And because of that, we decided to take agriculture as a business. And what we did was that, okay, since we have realized that, then we decided to form an agricultural policy. That agricultural policy, and we give it agricultural policies that specify how we can deal with agriculture, how we can do our partnership. And the policy also defined the development of the entire value chain, not only production, no, but the entire value chain. So, and that has given us an opportunity. Also, we try to ask, okay, where are the crops we have comparative advantage? Then we identify 4 crops. One, the wheat, the rice, the sesame, and then the hibiscus. But does not mean the other crops are not given attention, no. But we feel that these 4 crops are quite important, and by the time we continue to develop and improve them, we'll be able to. And I'm happy to say that with this policy has started paying for us. Today in Nigeria, we are #1 in wheat, and we are #1 in sesame, and we are #1 in hibiscus. And this has given us a very good opportunity. And what we did is we tried to develop the entire policy. We engaged the youth. The youth now have understood that agri is a business. And they have started to key in through our cluster farming system. We have established a cluster farming system, and that cluster will engage youth, and we give them a parcel of land from government, and then we give them all the input in terms as a loan, and then they will repay at the end of the harvest, because we want sustainability. If you continue to give them this thing free of charge, sustainability will be a problem. So we feel that, okay, we need to show how we can sustain this system. And then therefore the youth are being employed. And we have bring in so many policies along the line that we have millionaires, rice millionaires. We have also the wheat. Currently, last week, I and my team were in Ethiopia, because Ethiopia has achieved self-sufficiency in wheat production. And that has given us an opportunity to see how we can revamp the wheat production. And that has given us an opportunity to see also to see how we can engage in research. Because the issue is we need research so that we can be able to bring in new seeds, we can be able to bring in new technology, we can be able to bring in new system of farming. And that has given us a lot of work. So really we have challenges, but we're able to identify the opportunities that we'll be able to deal with the challenge. So again, from the US, what we're asking is that we're asking, okay, to help us address issues of agriculture. But our system, our land, our topography, And also our soil system is not the same. So the most important thing we need is research, cooperation in terms of research. When we have a cooperation in terms of research, our expert will discuss with our expert who will be able to show, okay, this is the type of topography we have, this is the type of soil we have, this is the amount of rainfall we have in a season. So at least with your expertise, you will be able to advise us appropriately what to do, what will grow here, what will be benefit here. And I think if that is done, we'll be able to make a difference. So this is exactly what we have in Jigawa. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And you've outlined some of the opportunities that are out there, not just the challenges that are being faced. Let me call on the governor of Kano State, Governor USIP.
Thank you.
And I might add, Nigeria's most populous state.
That's right. Thank you very much, the advisor. Let me seize this opportunity to once more also thank you immensely on behalf of the good people of Kano State and by extension Nigeria. Let me say that Kano State, being the most populous state in the country, with over 21 million people, and being second most commercial center in Nigeria after Lagos, is also bedeviled with a lot of insecurity challenges. Even though at present, Kano is the most peaceful state, but we also have a lot of these challenges. Let me say that when we came on board, we met a very disorganized society, a society that was built with breakdown of law and order, with unemployment rate at its peak, with also poverty in almost most of the homes. When we came, we sat down and looked at the challenges, and we tried to see how we can sort all those challenges. The first thing we did was we sat down with the security agencies. We listened to their own problems. We also tried as much as possible to solve those problems. We established the Joint Task Force Committee, and we as well established community policing within the system. We met a society that was corrupt. Civil servants were corrupt. Stealing was the order of the day. Thuggery was at its pinnacle. Many of our youths were recruited into thuggery, politically being used to maim and kill innocent people. And we felt that we have a duty to protect the lives and properties of our citizens. The first thing we did was to ensure that all those thugs were rehabilitated by the government in collaboration with the security agencies. We rehabilitated about 220 thugs. We trained them, and we gave them capital so that they could have something doing and be better members of the society. We also established 21 key empowerment institutes to take care of our teeming youths, both men and women. We established a system of empowerment whereby every month we give empowerment to 100 women from 44 local governments, 100 women from each local government times 44. We give them capital of about 50,000 each. And that has been sustained. We will also continue to do that till the end of our tenure. We also look at the unemployment rate within our youths, and we were able to employ about 10,000 youths into the civil service. We tried as much as possible to send our young men and women to study master's degrees in different countries across the globe. So far, we have about 680 young men and women that are studying in different universities across the globe. We also tried as much as possible to pay for tuition fees of all the state indigents that are studying in different universities across the country, as well as other tertiary institutions. Apart from that, we tried as much as possible to block all loopholes of corruption. We ensured transparency and accountability in spendings of the government. So with that, we also opened up irrigational facilities for our teeming youths. We desilted and rehabilitated the 22 dams we have in the state, and we were able to allocate lands, irrigatable lands, to many youths, including women. We gave them capital, and right now many of our youths are there engaged, fully engaged in irrigation and other farmings across the state. So with that, we feel at least that we are reducing the insecurity challenges in the state. And by coming here, like all the other governors have said, we have common problem. That is the insecurity. We come out together to ensure that through collaborative effort with you, at least we reduce it to a significant position. Thank you very much.
Governor USIP, thank you very much for outlining those measures that you've undertaken in Kano to address both insecurity and to give a catalyst to economic development. Let me now call on the Governor of Kaduna State, the Honorable Uba Sani.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Kassim. First, I would like to also join my colleagues in appreciating the United States Institute of Peace for this very important invitation to share our experience and to partner with this very institution, looking at the way forward towards resolving and addressing our problems back home. Kaduna State, like my colleagues, we have similar problems with other states, just like my colleague have just. I want to associate myself with some of the comments they've made. But Kaduna being the political capital of northern Nigeria, as you're aware, we are the most cosmopolitan state in northern Nigeria. So our problems are different from other states. We are facing problem of insecurity like other states. That has to do with banditry, kidnappings, and insurgency. But at the same time, we also are having issues that has to do with conflict related to issue of religion and ethnicity. But of course, I'm happy also to commend the effort of United States Institute of Peace because of the work they've done in Kaduna. And that has actually yielded some result because in the last 1 year, precisely. We have not actually experienced any religious or ethnic conflicts in Kaduna State. That for us is a major development and progress, because we believe peace and stability is what we need for development in our own state. When we came in, we have encountered some major challenges in the area of insecurity generally. But as a state, we have came up with some initiatives, particularly trying to reach out to those at the grassroots, calling for quarterly meetings that has to do with our local governments, traditional institutions, religious leaders, because we believe we have to come together to work to address the problem of insecurity. And we have also different citizen engagement, and that has also helped us to also expand the level of intelligence gathering and sharing with relevant security agencies that are working in Kaduna State. That has largely helped us in addressing the problem of security in Kaduna State. One of the examples is the recent kidnappings of 137 children in Kuriga community in Kaduna State. You will agree with me that it was a record effort by the entire security apparatus and agencies in Nigeria that within 16 days were able to bring back the children back home. And that for me is because of the level of coordination and working closely with the relevant security agencies as well as the communities in Kaduna State, because we made it clear to everyone that security is something that everybody must be involved in addressing, not only security agencies. We need everyone to be part of it, and that has largely helped us in addressing most of this problem we're facing. Again, I want to also share some of the experiences, because as a former member of the National Assembly, who happens to be the former chairman of the Senate Committee on Banking, we came with statistics and data that the northern part of Nigeria, particularly northwestern part of Nigeria, we are facing a lot of economic challenges. And that is what is really affecting the state in terms of insecurity as we're speaking. Today, if you look at the statistics, about 70% of the adult age in the entire northwestern part of Nigeria are financially excluded. That is a fact as of today. And of course, when they are financially excluded, they won't benefit from any form of social intervention, either from the federal government or from the state government. So we came up with some initiatives. Last 4 months, we signed an executive order in Kaduna State to bring at least 2.5 million vulnerable, underserved, poor people within our societies back to financial services sector. And so as we're speaking, we have been able to capture about 2.2 million underserved, vulnerable, and poor back to financial services sector. That is one of the major interventions we've done in Kaduna State. And again, we also look at the level of SMEs, that's small businesses as well as smallholder farmers. We have to link them up with credit and link them up with the financial sectors within our state and the country generally. Today in Kaduna State, I can say that we have about 14,000 small and medium enterprises that are in existence. And that is the reason why 2 months ago, we've been able to support them with 4.2 billion grants to enhance their businesses, support them to also expand their business and create more jobs and employ more people at the grassroots level so that we can reduce the level of unemployment, address the issue of poverty. For us, is some of the most important things we need to do. Because like I said, the insecurity in the northern part of Nigeria, particularly northwest, is because of poverty, unemployment. Today, as we are speaking, we also are facing the problem of out-of-school children. If you look at the statistics, Nigeria has the highest number of out-of-school children in the whole world. That is statistics as of today. And when you look at the numbers, 70% of out-of-school children are domiciled in northern part of Nigeria. Not only the northwest, but northern part of Nigeria. And that is the reason why virtually every governor sitting here have really made a lot of effort in addressing the problem of education in our society because we believe it's the greatest leveler. And that is the reason why we're also investing a lot in education, and we're also putting a lot of emphasis on self-school initiatives. Because when you look at most of the schools in most of these states, are state schools that are even located in areas where we have challenge of insecurity. And that has also contributed in increasing the level of our school children in our own localities and our state generally. So what are we doing? Investing a lot to serve our schools and ensure that those schools that are in security forms local governments are merged with other schools so that no child will stay at home without going to school. So we are trying our best, like other governors have just said, but I have no doubt in my mind in the next few days, we will be able to have some some of the frameworks, outcomes we are going to take from this very important institution that we will take back home. And I have no doubt in my mind, as state governors, just like my colleagues have said, we are new governors, and we are determined to work closely with our development partners, including this very important institute, toward addressing our problems back home. And I want to thank you for giving us this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Again, Governor Sani, thank you very, very much again for those points that you've made about how you're addressing some of the challenges in your state. Can I call on now the governor of Benue State, Governor Aliyah?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator, and I thank the Peace Institute for this opportunity afforded us. Benue State is the belt of Nigeria. If Benue experiences peace, it goes without saying that the entire nation would experience same. Our positioning is very vital. Before most northern parts of the country got involved in agriculture, they were being fed from the state, or to most part of the south states and the southeast. Unfortunately, a number of things have happened. We have quite some chunk of land mass, 33.955 square kilometers, and all arable. And then of the two rivers we have in the nation, rivers Benue and Niger. Benue, that's the state's name. And then it runs all through the nation into the Atlantic. So 100% we are agrarian. And unfortunately, the wave of insecurity, it's cut across. I think I'll be right to say the entire north, 19 states, even including the Federal Capital Territory at this time. But ours, for some reason, comes in a number of phases. As I'm speaking here, we have officially identified 17 internally displaced people in 17 camps. That's the official. Meaning there are some we sort of stumble on either at schools or at market squares, and then we co-opt them into the official rundown as well. What we experience, it's I think a number of states are experiencing the same thing. The banditry, land grabbing, and then the killing. When they come, I was happy to hear one of the governors mention something on the unoccupied spaces. We have very fertile lands, but because we are doing our farming in the old traditional methods, We haven't gone high-tech mechanized. We cannot cover the entire land, which means we're not doing enough productions on the farm. If we have extended farms, increased yields, then we'd even be thinking of processing industrialization. So that will cut a lot of what we're experiencing now. There wouldn't be even any mention of food insecurities. So insecurity of the social insecurity, it's now, spanning into other areas of insecurities. Part of what is even adding to our nightmare has to do with the many blessings, the land is being blessed with. Nigeria has, in total, 46 varied natural solid minerals. Benue State alone has 34. Instead of enjoying those benefits, we're losing so many people out there at the sites and in the fields. We have rogues who come in, and they come in different shades. The bandits come, they drive away the locals, and then certain so-called investors, on solid minerals, who are not verified in whether they're legitimate enough, to be in the bushes or the sites. The actual locals are driven away. For some reason, those who come in, those rogues who come in there, gain access, on the sites, and then they are doing their own businesses. So that is one other front that is so much of a nightmare to us. Overall, Benue in the past experienced a lot of relative peace. If we are not doing enough productions, which means most of our youth are just hanging there, and they can easily be enlisted into terrible acts. In the next 14 days, we're going to launch a security guard apparatus. It's a local one. Thank God, nationally we're all talking about state policing, individual state policing. I believe that it's going to help us a lot. It's in tune with this kind of a thinking that in 2 weeks' time we'll do this launching. It's from the vigilantes and those who feel quite concerned about our own securities, the young people particularly. So it's going to be very beneficial. We know that maybe nationally we have porous borders and interstate porous borders as well. When those bad people are pounded from one state, they find some shelter in the neighborhood, just the next state. If we go strong on these internal state policing, it's also going to help us. We need a lot of the technical know-how. We've been talking about insecurities all through. But how actually do we train even the young minds, to help the rest of the people? If we go onto the farmlands, there has to be some level of security for farmers to do their own farming. And all these will require education again. We're hoping to go strong again on education, not just being an agrarian state. We're hoping to reinvent our College of Agriculture and then promote it into a University of Agriculture. But along the line, it must again come with the tenets of security. So how do we move from where we are to that point where everybody sleeps with 2 eyes closed? We had some poor leadership. People were not paid their own salaries for quite some time. including civil servants. And if even the civil servants would not go to work, it increases the fears and the threats of all that. But as we speak, we are at par with what our duty is prescribed, to pay their salaries, including pensions and all that. I think there is a huge shift from the bad governance that was experienced in the past with the new crop of governance. We have a very heavy competition. What it's being done positively in some other state, you know, other persons as well ensure that it's transferred to their own state. And I think that brings a big plus. I feel there would be a number of takeaways from here. One, including that the technical know-how, the education of what we need to do as the basis of cutting down the insecurities we all fear. But if we keep just reaching out to the IDPs, sort of handouts, it's not going to solve much of their problems. We need to get them back to their ancestral homes, where they will continue to do what they know how to do best, farming, in order to feed the nations. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Governor. We're going to wind up this session with comments from the Deputy Governor of Sokoto, Deputy Governor Jabir, and then we're going to take a break after this and come back and continue our conversation as a collective group. But Deputy Governor, you have the floor and the last words.
Thank you, Ambassador. I'm Idris Kobir, the Deputy Governor of Sokoto State. Sokoto State is one of the devastating states by banditry activities. The main reason I'm here is just to see how can the institution, the United States Institution for Peace, can assist my state and the entire northern region to see how can we get ourselves out of this problem. Before now, Sokoto State is one of the peaceful states in Nigeria. Been the chief custodian of Islamic affairs, yet we're able to enjoy feast, living in feast. But now the state, about 2/3 of the state were being devastated by the banditry activities. We are in governing just simply because during the campaign promises, we promised our people that we'll put all the best we can to make sure we tackle the issue of insecurity. This is the paramount when it comes to our campaign promises. And that's the reason our people, you know, has confidence in us and brought us in. So I'm here, nothing but peace. I came in with a lot of research and a lot of initiative to talk about. But immediately during our breakfast, General Martin Luther was able to delete my research. It was just somebody who had a very good research, and you submit for approval, you end up being, say, not approved. So just like he was adjusting me back to square zero. He said something that, you know, it really came to my heart, and I really captured it, and I reasoned with him about the issue of non-kinetic approach. Our governors have put, my governor have put all the best we can to see if we can tackle the issue of insecurity. We spend billions of naira assisting the conventional security operating in Sokoto State by the support of the federal government of Nigeria. At the same time, by making our local initiative, just like Katsina State, a lot had been done, which I believe our community and Nigeria as well can be also witnessed in order to tackle this issue of mandatory activities. Yet, we know it still exists. This is the United States Institute for Peace, whereby solving the problem, the crisis, you understand, the conflict without war, without bloodshed. That is why we're here. And I believe at the end of this, this institution will assist, you understand, coming up with a measures, a serious measures. Why I'm saying so, because last time the set of governors are here. Today, another set of governors are here. We are still talking about the insecurity situation affecting the northern state of Nigeria. And I believe this time the institution will take it serious so that the issue of insecurity, you know, will become a history. I don't mind about talking about the agriculture, talking about the economic, IGR and whatever initiative. Unless maybe it will come in, you know, in the process of solving, maybe they are coming as one of the agents of solving this problem which my state or my entire region is facing. But first of all, let's tackle the insecurity situation that is affecting my state and my region. I believe if in the sake of solving the problem, you understand, the agric initiative will come in, fine and good. The issue of empowerment, youth empowerment, you understand, will come in. Economic, you understand, initiative will come in. It's okay. But first of all what I'm here for, you understand, is the measures that will tackle the problem that is expecting my state and my entire region. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me thank all of the governors and deputy governors for their presentations this morning on the challenges that they face and some of the things that they are doing to combat those challenges. I'll end with a couple of broad comments. And the first, clearly, is that Nigeria is important. It is an anchor of democracy in West Africa. Nigeria, democracy can only be sustained if, in fact, people believe that they are beneficiaries of not only political freedoms, but economic growth and opportunity. Though economic growth and opportunity is undercut by insecurity, by banditry, by violence, by kidnapping, by civil strife, by religious intolerance, and by the things that cause conflict. It is important that as we look at the challenges that are out there, several things are in fact necessary. Certainly state and federal engagement and cooperation, but also going all the way down to community level engagement and cooperation, where citizens recognize the importance of other citizens in ensuring the safety of their neighbors as well as their families and their communities. So it's at every level that we will be talking over the next couple of days about security, about economic development, because indeed it starts with the need to strengthen that democracy, strengthen that economic development and progress, making opportunities more meaningful for people to live in peace and to grow in prosperity. Those are the things that are going to be extraordinarily important in helping to combat the level of insecurity that's there. Again, I want to thank all the governors. We're going to take a 10-minute break, and then we're going to, I'll introduce our next speaker from the State Department, and then we will have an opportunity to engage in some discussion with that speaker. And then we're going to have a number of case studies of countries and how they have dealt with the issues of insecurity. There is progress out there. Countries do and are able to overcome the challenges of insecurity. And there are methods and ways of building resilience and peacefulness in societies. So we're going to stop right here for this session, and we're going to take, as I say, a 10-minute break. People can have coffee, find the restrooms which are on this floor, and then we'll come back together with our next speaker. Anyway, thank you all. Thank you.